We're going to continue in this incredible theme that we get to embrace on another level this weekend. The World Sports Betting Cape Town Met is here with the theme Couture Unleashed. So we want to see that theme embodied in as many ways as we can this morning. And the ladies from Sweet Lionheart, Natalie and Laura, are about to channel the glamour and the artistry of this year's Met Gala theme Couture Unleashed into a truly extraordinary cake design. So you can watch as they transform their love of baking and high fashion into a showstopper that's edible and worthy of the red carpet. Ladies, so good to have you here. We love what you guys do because you pour literally heart and soul into something like this. A bit of a merger happening here, and I would imagine a great opportunity for you guys to show your creativity, but also a little bit of a nervy situation to be in because you're taking kind of that more conceptual, that crazy out there space within fashion and taking it into the baking space. So talk me through, if you will, what inspired you? How did you merge the two worlds of cake design and the artistry of fashion?
Okay, so with our design this year, we decided to go with something that was a little bit out the box and just creating drama. We drew inspiration from the Cape Town Met poster itself. So you can see the color scheme that we did. We tried to create really cool like silhouette and like a shape, and then just bringing in jewel tones and flow of fabric and stuff like that.
Like you say that like it's just so easy to do when making a cake. So can I start with like where my knowledge of cake design and making begins and ends? The piping, okay? That's pretty much as much decoration, but the way you guys do it is on another level. How do you achieve that level of uniformity when there is such a clear graphic design? It's not like you've got one color which you can just sit and you can... It's very finely done. How do you achieve that? Do you have any tips for the bakers out there wanting to achieve that sort of level?
A lot of practice, I can tell you that much. It's not as easy as it looks, but if you have the correct consistency of your cake, your frosting, as well as really good tools, then with a lot of practice, you will be able to achieve.
And also planning, for sure. Plan this out before the time. Think about what you're bringing in.
Well, talk me through that process, because you've got textures which make a very big difference. Obviously, the colors play a role. So as you guys get stuck in here, talk me through how you build that plan, well, for this cake, but for any cake in general. How does that process look?
For this specifically, usually we say sometimes less is more, let's keep it simple. But for this, thankfully, more is more.
100%.
So we're going to show you two things. We're going to show you how we got the jeweled tones there at the bottom, as well as a rice paper sail that kind of looks like fabric. So I'm going to get into that.
Do it.
So isomalt is basically comes in granules like this, and you melt it in a pot, and then you add colouring, and you pour it out onto a silicone mat, and then you get something that looks like this.
A tile, pretty much.
Yeah.
That is...
It's pretty cool.
I
pretty
love
hard
that.
and solid.
Yeah, now I understand the gigantic hammer.
Yes. So we're going to smash that up into little pieces, and that is how we got that onto the bottom of that cake.
This must be such a fun... It's like stained glass. How much fun you can have.
It is really fun.
To get that colour, do you buy it as is? Do you add your own colour to it?
So this is white in colour when you buy it, and then you add colouring.
So you really can take it wherever you want. Oh, I love that.
So I'm going to smash that up.
All right, let it out, girl. Let every bit of that... Just let it out.
And you basically keep going until you get tiny little shards. Yeah. So, and it's very cool. You can also use big pieces like this to create sharp edges.
And that's the kind of drama you want for something like this.
Yes, and you can also take some silver powder or any colour powder, really, and dust that on, and you get a really cool silver effect too. I don't want to give too much away because when we finish it up, you're really going to see how it's going to come together.
You want to see the full impact. Oh, for sure. But I love that already. People are thinking differently about what they are doing right now. I love this. That sail is going to catch a lot of people's attention. It's something that, I mean, in all the many years of doing this, we've never seen anyone use this material in this way. Talk us through what you're doing, because I saw pink powder going into the water there.
So I just started the process here. So this is just your store-bought rice paper, essentially, that you would make a spring roll with. But what we do is we soak it in water. So this is literally just tap water and food coloring. And you would, so I've cut some in half here just to make a smaller one. You can cut them in half or use the entire sail.
The full sail.
And you're just going to soak them in the water.
How far your cake is travelling, I suppose. But that is Incredible.
And it essentially gets soft in the water, and then that's how you would mold it into the shapes you want. So I'm just going to let that soak while that's happening. I'm going to use these clips, and this is just on a silicone mat so that it becomes non-stick and we can peel them off afterwards.
Very
And I'm going to
clever.
create like the flow that I want the material to do. So let me just clamp up some pieces.
That is a brilliant, brilliant tip, because I would imagine so many bakers, you get to the point of this exquisite creation. It's time now to merge the two, put it onto your cake. Something breaks, something goes wrong, it sticks. It's kind of planning ahead, thinking ahead about all of the eventualities.
Yeah.
I love that. When approaching something that is this complex, a tip for someone taking on a job like this?
I would make everything in advance. Don't leave it till the last minute, just because you don't want to leave anything to chance and you want to make sure that everything is set. This in particular takes time to set. It's not something you can make in the moment. So again, it goes back to your planning. So I'm just going to make use of these skewers, and we're going to wrap the rice paper on a skewer essentially. You're going to roll the corner onto the skewer.
Oh, wow.
And then it becomes quite pliable and very similar to fabric, I guess. And then you would place it on your silicone mat and
Never mind the cake designers. There's a fashion designer out there running to their kitchen right now. Ladies, you are amazing. Cannot wait to see how this all comes together. The genius that is playing out in our building today. We're going to have some hot tips and, yes, a whole lot of fashion inspiration. And this cake is going to blow you away. It might even inspire your outfit if you aren't dressed already. We'll see you in just a moment to reconnect with the girls to see how far we've taken this creation.
Sweet.
That is genius.
Oh, absolutely love the fact that we're talking and diving into a world of color, speaking about color, inspiring you, and continuing with that color right now as we bring it to the kitchen. So if you missed it earlier in the show, we are being inspired by the Met theme of Couture Unleashed. And now with the help of the team from Sweet Lionheart, we are creating a cake that brings this theme to life, literally. Now, Laura, you've done something incredible earlier. I wanted to ask you guys, though, it looks amazing. It looks like it can't even be knocked over. The structural integrity of this cake is something to speak of. How did you get that right? Like, what's at the base of this in terms of still allowing you to keep it firm and keep you from being able to attach all the beautiful decoration that you are?
Yeah, I think choosing the correct sponge when you're going to tear cake, you want something firm. It's going to really hold its structure when placing weight on it. And then also just keeping everything cool. Like, you don't want to be in the sun or in a really hot room. You want to keep everything...
Melting!
Yeah, pretty much. So I think just making sure that you work in an environment that's cool and that allows you to keep everything... Like the buttercream, it's butter at the end of the day. You don't want that melting.
Yeah.
Because then everything just starts sagging. So you want to keep everything nice and firm.
And when you're doing something like this, where does it all begin, that sort of vision, the end product? Are you designing it like in a drawing, like you would like a fashionista does with a dress or something like that? Is it a very similar process?
Yes, very much so. Sometimes you decide what sort of elements you want on there. So for today's design, we decided that we wanted the jewels and the fresh flowers. So we start with what we want on the cake.
Okay.
And then, as you say, we literally put pen to paper. We draw it out, see how it's going to look. Does the design balance each other out? And then from there, it kind of unfolds and we add or we take away things depending how we want it to look.
Is that where we're at right now? Because, I mean, I can see that you have this beautiful artistic touch to how you're placing all these different pieces, but it doesn't seem like it's exactly going where it needs to go, but yet it still seems perfect. Is it feeling it out? Are you doing exactly that right now?
Exactly. You always need to have room for interpretation at the end, so it doesn't always end up how you want it. But sometimes you got to roll with the punches, and sometimes creative ideas and how it looks at the end is not how you envisioned, but sometimes it's even better. So
Happy accidents, essentially.
100%. You just got to roll with it.
I call that art, and I'm so here for that, and I think that's exactly what this looks like right now. Why would someone get a cake like this when it looks so beautiful that they probably wouldn't even want to like cut into it? Where do you start with the knife? Is there a method? Because I feel like you should just leave this, freeze it, and just keep it for eternity to look at, like an art piece. But how would you actually go about eating this thing? Is there a method to it?
I wouldn't say there is a method.
Yeah.
Whether you want to start at the bottom, middle, or top, it's up to you. But we would recommend taking the tiers apart and then placing them onto boards or plates to then be cut into portions.
Don't cut right through.
No, because
Okay,
it most probably will fall over.
So I'm asking from kind of like experience here because I've had a birthday cake before, maybe not as incredible looking as this, but it kind of got a little bit close. And I tried the cut from the top. Zanzi, don't do it. Trust me, don't do it. Listen to
Just
the
like
ladies
going
there.
straight through with a knife.
So can I please be a part of this process? Because I want to just
Yes.
say that
Please add
I
some
was
sprinkles.
a part of the most incredible cake for this year on Expresso Show, and I think it's perfectly matching our couture theme. But also, I don't want to mess it up. What
You
can I
can't
do?
mess it up.
What
I
can I
think-
do?
No, go for it.
Anything.
Yeah,
I
add some-
basically accessorize with
all right.
the sprinkles at this point.
Sorry, I'm getting a little bit excited
No,
here.
it's fine. Go for
Go
it.
for it.
Not going to ruin it, I promise. Is that
Anyway,
okay?
go anywhere. It's fine.
Just in the corner there.
However you interpret.
This is too stressful, actually. I'm done. I put my mark in the cake. I'm going to officially say that I was a part of this magic. But you guys are incredible. Thank you so much once again. A reminder for anybody out there that maybe wants some of this for their own event, for their own occasion. How do they reach out to you? How do you get involved? How can that be done?
Yes, it can be. Absolutely everything is online. So we're an online-based, online cake studio. So we have a full catalogue online, which is sweetlionheart.com.
Okay.
So you can order and pay and everything via the website.
Beautiful.
You can either collect from us or we can deliver anywhere. In terms of custom cakes like this one, you would have to send us an email, which is admin@sweetlionheart, and then we can chat further from there.
Okay, and start that creative
Yes,
process.
exactly.
Last question. With all the color, with all the vibrance, with all the magic, what's the flavor of the cake? What does it taste like?
We
you know?
have we have a chocolate cake at the bottom. The
Okay.
reason why we choose chocolate is because it is our chocolate mud cake. So that is great for stability at the bottom. We
Well
try
played.
stay away from the vanillas at the bottom so that it doesn't fall over. And then the top two are just vanilla lemon flavored.
are absolutely amazing. I'm salivating and I need to get into this cake right now, but we are finishing off, putting on final touches, and I can't be more grateful for you two incredible souls for being here this morning. Thank you, thank you,
so much
thank
for
you.
having us.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. You really have inspired everybody at home, and I think a lot of people are going to reach out to you and try get some of this. For now, though, ahead of the Cape Met that's happening, the World Sports Betting Met is on its way, and we've got Jared Ricketts here to give us more inspiration and more emotion to get excited for it. I mean, if the cake wasn't enough already. Oh, well played. Well played. Wow.
Sweet.